Hey everyone, we are so excited for you to be here today, starting this journey of learning more about AI with us. So I'm Danny Gavin. I'm the founder of Optage, as well as one of the instructors here at Audio Academy. And I'm really excited to be here today with Grace Glass, who is one of our senior paid social strategists and helps me with education.
My name is Grace. I work at Optage for Danny. I work in paid social media, but it was also one of my responsibilities at Optage to help my department figure out how to use AI tools, figure out what was out there, how they could help us, what would actually make an impact on our work versus what was just like a shiny toy that, didn't really do anything. So I have a lot of experience with this in the workplace and for fun. I use AI for fun too.
We both understand that AI can feel very overwhelming, especially if you've never done it before. And really, that's who this course is for, right? It's for people who haven't really tried out ChatGPT or Gemini or all these fancy AI tools. But the goal of this course is to simplify it so that anyone can understand, and then you should start to use it, not just after at the end of the course, but technically, right? In the middle of the course, after the first lesson, you start feeling comfortable and learn what's the best way to interact with these different platforms.
We're kind of in a golden age of AI right now where there are so many different options. Everyone's trying to get users to join their platform, so they're giving away a lot of cool stuff for free. So we're in that nice sweet spot where there's just a wide array of things that you could do to make your work life easier, your personal life easier, and it's time to take advantage of that.
Another great point about this course is it's really designed for beginners to teach you from the ground up. And we have a lot of practical applications and little assignments in between each lesson so that it pushes you to actually take the tool, try different things out. And really, it's all about getting comfortable. So just like when you need to write a shopping list, you'll find a scratch pad, a flashcard, and write down on that. We just want AI, ChatGPT, to be another tool in your tool chest that you can go to when you need to do something.
So Danny, what does LLM stand for? What is an LLM? Everyone talks about it all the time, but it's kind of a technical term.
Yes, it is. And you're going to hear us use it a lot throughout the course. And that's why right now we want to clarify what that is and try to make it a little less complicated. But what an LLM stands for is it's a large language model. And practically what that means is an AI tool like ChatGPT or Google's Gemini. There's also Claude and Perplexity, all these different tools. How do they even work? They work by analyzing and generating text based on vast amounts of information. So really what it is we've got all this information. Think of it as like taking the internet and downloading all the information and then taking all this info, which is the large language model, and giving it to that AI tool to ingest, to bring in, so that now when you start to ask it questions, it can go back to the information that it consumed and start to give you answers.
It's honestly kind of interesting when you think about how they built these models, because really it's a series of probabilities and math problems. So let's say you had like 10 cookbooks and you fed them all into an LLM. It wouldn't be a large language model, it would be a 10 cookbook language model. But let's say that's your training data, 10 amazing cookbooks. And then you asked it a question about how do I make a cheese pizza? So it's going to look at those 10 different cookbooks, scan everything that it's read about cheese pizza in there, and it's going to run some probabilities. That's the model part of the large language model. And it's going to think, okay, there's a 80% chance that the first ingredient is cheese. So I'm going to say you need cheese. And there's 8 out of the 10 books recommend 4 cups of cheese. So it's going to say 4 cheese. And it fills it out very, very, very quickly. It's going to write a recipe for you based on probabilities and all of that data that it has. So what ChatGPT actually is like everything on the whole internet, all of it that it could find, everything it could gather up. And it's running these really intricate probability models to figure out how to answer your questions based on what it thinks is the most likely right answer. So it's really helpful for doing quick research, but you always want to double check and make sure that if it's important that something that it says is accurate, that what it said was accurate because it doesn't know. It's just running probabilities. So it might tell you to throw the pizza out the window. You should double check on that one before you do, though.
One of the main points of this course is we want to effectively show you how to interact with these tools. And the reason is because really what you put in is what you get out. How you ask the question, what you include, what information you give it, the better that is, the more accurate it is, the more descriptive you are, the better response you are going to get. Because if we just leave it up to ChatGPT to come up with the answer, no, they're going to go in their own direction. We need to guide it down the right path. So that's really what you're going to learn in this course. Now, Grace, why don't we talk about some of the limitations of large language models or ChatGPT? One of them you already mentioned, which would be accuracy. Just because it says it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. What are some other things that people have to look out for?
Hallucinations. So it's similar with accuracy. Let's say you're asking it to explain a historical event to you. It might tell you that Abraham Lincoln was there at the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And that's not true. And because the way these language models work is all of those scientific probabilities running in the background, no one's exactly sure why these hallucinations happen. So I think that's actually the biggest danger. In my use, the times that that's come up for me are when I'll ask it to recommend particular audiences to target for an ad campaign. Who would this product be a good fit for? And it'll give me a long list. And at the end of the list, it's just trying to think of words. and the words may not be connected to the original idea anymore. And so the first one would be moms, and the second one would be women, and the third one would be birthday clowns. And you have to be the adult in the room and say, wait a second, one of those is different. And I don't think that's true. That's been in my experience, the big drawback with language models. And the other one would be the reference window, I would say. It can't always remember the entire history of your conversation. If you let a conversation with AI go on too long, it'll forget the beginning. And so you need to start those conversations pretty regularly with all the information that the AI needs to make a good informed decision about how to answer you. You can't rely on it remembering something that happened, 10, 20,000 words ago.
Another limitation, which we will talk about during the course, is biases. So imagine if the cookbook that you pumped into ChatGPT, it only ever mentions sugar as being a sweetener. And therefore now when people are asking for recipes, then it's only going to show sugar. Another example would be all the information that was uploaded into ChatGPT was about giraffes. So now anytime someone's asking for a picture of a jungle or of African safari, the only thing that pops in there are giraffes. So you just have to keep that in mind, that sometimes it's going to be biased in how it answers certain things or certain pictures that it generates based on the information that was inputted into it in the first place. So there are some pros and cons. We don't have to go through all of that right now, but just be aware that it is something that is very prevalent when it comes to large language models and the tools like ChatGPT that we use to access them.
One of the first things we said when we were presenting to the company about these AI tools and encouraging everyone at Optage to start using them was, you can't trust the robots to fully know what's going on. You still have to be in control. So you can't just be totally hands-off yet.
Grace, what are the goals that we want people to accomplish when they take this course?
Well, it really depends on the person who's taking the course and what their life is like, what their needs are. ChatGPT is applicable to all kinds of industries, jobs you might have, needs you might have. Maybe you homeschool your kids. Maybe you're in charge of the menu that your family's going to eat for the week. There are personal use cases for it. And so it really depends on the person and what they need. And so that's actually what this video is for. It's to help everybody watching start to think about their own lives and how this course could apply directly to their unique circumstance that we're not going to be able to guess because we don't really know you that well, but we know that it can help. And it's up to you to apply it to your life and start using it right away.
And that's why before you start the course, we are going to have a pre-course worksheet, which we really want you to fill out, which will help align your goals and what you're learning. When you go into the course knowing the things that you have problems with or the things that you need to be more efficient with, you're going to gain so much more out of this course. Grace, why don't we show a couple examples just so people can get an idea what AI looks like?
Yes. And if you've never used ChatGPT before, I do think this is going to be really, really helpful.
So the first one will be, imagine if you're a small business owner and you're using AI and you're looking to draft marketing materials. So what we're looking at here is ChatGPT. You can come over here and you're going to type in a message. So really think about like for any of those people who've chatted, right? Chat online. This is really what it looks like. In ChatGPT, you can actually search the internet as well. If you would want to do that, you could click that on. But for the sake of just this example, we're going to keep that off and we're going to ask, imagine I run a small bakery specializing in gluten-free and vegan treats. Generate an engaging Instagram caption and hashtag set for my new chocolate chip muffins launch. So it comes along and says, hey, new treat alert. Say hello to our gluten-free and vegan chocolate chip muffins, soft, fluffy, and packed with melty chocolate goodness. Made with love and zero gluten or dairy, these muffins are proof that indulgence can be both delicious and mindful. Who's grabbing one? And then it's giving us a bunch of hashtags, and sweet without compromise is so cool. This is great, right?
This is a prompt that I would use pretty regularly in my job doing paid social media. We generate a bunch of these at a time and sort of combine them, pick and choose, rework them a little bit to make them exactly what they need to be. So you still have to do some work. It's not totally done for you, but what a great start.
Now, ChatGPT has come along here and made some assumptions like that the chocolate is melty. Now, it could be that the chocolate is not melty, right? And it's actually whole chocolate chips. So you could always go back in and say, by the way, the chocolate chips are whole and not melted. Can you update our caption? So just an example of maybe they made an assumption it's not true, and then it's changed it up. And you can see now it's like, great, it's loaded with whole chocolate chips in every bite. Now, I don't know if I like that better, but the point is we've
melting here.
We've pushed it in the right direction on where it should go. Okay, cool. Let's try another prompt out. So imagine you're a teacher automating a lesson plan. I teach third grade science. Generate a fun and engaging lesson plan on the water cycle, including hands-on activities and discussion questions.
I love that it's giving you time estimates on these activities. That's so good.
So practical. And when we look back at our prompt, we actually didn't ask for time estimates. So in this case, this was something additional that they gave us, which is even better. Once again, we've gotten a really good output. And if there's something here that I don't like, I want it to be different, then we just have to tell them. And that's why you can see it made a bunch of assumptions based off of what we wrote. So if we would be a lot more specific, hey, I need hands-on activities, 1 activity per day over the week, and I've got 10 kids, I need to be able to break up into 2 groups. Adding more of that information in, it's going to better tailor the response to what you actually need. Okay, let's do one more example for our parents out there. Generate a fun and educational schedule for a Sunday with my kids, ages 3, 8, and 15, that keeps everyone engaged. And for those who are parents know, especially when you've got kids from 3 to 15, it can be complicated finding an activity that works for everyone.
8 a.m., you've already lost me.
But I love this right away. Look at this. The 3-year-old can mix the pancake batter, 8-year-old can help set the table, and the 15-year-old can flip the pancakes. And it's wonderful. So it's choosing the activity and then actually giving the suggestions on how everyone can be a part of it, instead of just assuming we'll know what each person can do.
And each task is age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for that age group.
And also there's this concept that not every single hour of the day has to be scheduled, and there should be some free time. And it's even including some best practices, which we didn't even ask it to do. But based off of the information that was fed into the model, it knows that that's important. Well, we are so happy that you are here with us. Remember, the whole point of this course is to see how AI can make your life easier. And this course is here to make AI less intimidating. Let's work together to make that happen.
Good luck, everyone. Have fun.